down your armor, lay down your courage too, lay down your dagger, can't escape what follows you.
Hard charging, I pull up there in my old Toyota truck, just dripping with mud and blood and just full of piss and vinegar and ready to roll, and well, nobody was going to stop me. I first started trapping when I was just a tiny little guy, probably 6, 7 years old with my dad on this very river, trapping muskrats. And then he was a water trapper, but I wanted to trap land traps, so we both caught our first fox together. It was pretty cool. And Dad's been gone many years now, and it's hard, but you got to move on. And this is what we would be doing today if he was still alive. So like I say, I grew up trapping. Trapping's my whole life. Trapping's always took first seat. Anything, I always would rather be trapping than doing anything else in the world. Back in the heyday, when I'm 55 now, and back when I was in my teens, we catch a lot of rats, and the rats just aren't here anymore. 982 is the best year I had, and now to get 300, you got to work really hard. But it's not about the numbers anymore. But we used to have a good group of guys on the river, and unfortunately, I've become one of the old ones now. When I first started trapping, we had guys like Nap Kovlowski, Emery Bryant, who just passed away a few months ago, which was a very dear friend of mine, Jack Kirkpatrick. Bill Cody, he passed away. He died on the river trapping muskrats. Had a heart attack after he saved 2 duck hunters. It's quite a story. And then we had Bob Ferris and Lyle Shepard. I mean, we were all a group down here. We all had our designated areas. But now half of them are gone, and here I am, all of a sudden, the old guy out here. But like I say, trapping, I've never been too far from the river. I grew up on the hill up there. Come down here catching snakes, frogs, and all that other good stuff. One time, we already went through there on the boat. I forgot to tell you, when we were going through there, there was a channel along the highway, and me and my buddy Bill, it was Thanksgiving morning, and we just got done running our traps. We each had different boats. I said, race you to the boat launch. And I hit the main water where it's got a current pool where the two connect. I felt my motor wiggle like that. All of a sudden it come right off the back of the boat. I had a safety chain, it ripped that right out. The gas tank went, and there I was floating. I thought I got hit by a bomb or something. There was muskrats floating in my pack basket. He's laughing. I said, what the hell? The boat, the motor come unhooked. So we went back. We had a little drag that we'd use for coon drags up here, and we got it on a piece of anchor rope, got my gas tank line hooked, and the old Mercury's you push and twist, and it was enough of a connection, and that motor, the Mercury 9.8, I think it weighed about 100 pounds, and when you pulled it up in the water, it kind of helped. I'm not a scientist, but it was easier to pull up through the water, Got the motor back on. He told me to launch. I went home, pulled the plugs out, put some oil in the cylinders, and that fired right up. Good old Mercury. But that was a good time. been trapping my whole life. Fox trap, coyote trap, beaver trap, otter, anything with fur on it, I'm after it, for trapping. And trapping has turned into a business for me now. Not that I ever really intended it to, but I'm fortunate enough. I worked 23 years for the County Road Commission. I had 2 years to go before I could walk out with full retirement. I couldn't do it another day. I couldn't do it one more day. I remember where I was driving in my truck when I made the decision, and it was it. It was done. I'm done. And I've not looked back since. And the the county was good to me, but this is where I belong, trapping. And when I say trap for a living, you're not trapping animals out in the woods for selling fur for a living. Now it's developed into my nuisance animal control business, which I've done since I was probably in 6th grade. I used to get hired by the schools to catch the groundhogs and skunks from underneath the buildings. Everybody knew I was a trapper, all the teachers. That's all. You do a book report, it's on trapping. What's your favorite word? Trapping. Fur. So I was fortunate to get a good start, and then I've been in this town my whole life, so business took off really well, and I'm extremely fortunate to have a great business following and friends that support my business and my passion. And my wife Kelly, of course, and my daughter Erica. They'll support me no matter what I want to do. So can't do it by yourself. So, and that's where I'm at today. I like to be in nature more than in the front seat of a truck, checking traps out the window, or walking. Yeah.
What is your favorite animal to pursue? It doesn't have to be monetary, wise. But
Yeah.
just for you, what is it?
Man, whatever I'm trapping at the moment, I guess. I really love mink trapping. There's something about them little mink that, and I use all blind sets. And there was a good old boy that lived up by you guys too, Don Barron. He was a hell of a trapper. And Don was good to me when I was a kid. Most older guys won't give you the time of day, especially when you're hard charging. I'd pull up there in my old Toyota truck, just dripping with mud and blood and just full of piss and vinegar and ready to roll, and nobody was going to stop me. But the old guys, they took good care of me. Of course, I was respectful of them. It didn't bother them in their traps and everything, but we'd have lunch on some of our little spots up there on the Cobb Moosa Creek and stuff. Me and Don would sit and have a sandwich, It's all about the old guys for me. That's what it is, And but my favorite animal, I don't know. It's hard to say. I love trapping rats. I love trapping beavers. I don't know if I have a favorite. Probably mink, because they're so cool. And they're so hard to catch in numbers. I've not caught a lot of them in numbers. I got 28's the best year I ever had. But that was a lot of work. But yeah, it's all about the old guys, and that's why I start taking young guys trapping and stuff, and girls. My little adopted daughter Jackie, she's a real good trapper now, and she hung out with me for a couple of years, and now we struggle to find time to go trapping together because she's got her own trap line. But and I had a lot of good mentors, mostly my dad. He's a good old boy, World War II vet. Flew on the B-17s, 43rd Bomb Squadron. Just a tough man, real man, and he was my whole world. But I didn't have enough time with him. So, I enjoy teaching the right people trapping and taking them, showing them this is my life, this is my world, and bringing people that respect it and enjoy it into my world. It's kind of nice to share. I'm getting at that age where I don't mind sharing so much. I was the only child, so I didn't like to share, But trapping, you're a secretive person. If you're going to be a successful trapper, I sell my fur to Rick now, what little bit I catch. Before, I'd ship it off, so nobody knew what I caught. Because going to the fur buyer, it's like going to the hairdresser. Yeah, look who caught this. Where'd them furs come from, And even, it just happens. It's just people talk and people are friendly. But I would always ship my fur because I don't want, people say, what kind of season you have? Oh, I did all right. Well, what'd you get? I enjoyed myself. You can tell them what I caught, 'cause then they're going to want to know where I was at. But now I'm taking more and more people here and there trapping. My young buddy Colby that works with me, it's been fun helping him learn how to trap, and he's got the drive and the ambition that he'll do well. Little turkey buzzard there.
Give me a gun.
Hey, I'll tell you my favorite story. It's not hard. There's many of them. But about a year before my dad passed, I was pouring a dog kennel. I used to raise coonhounds, and he helped me pour the concrete. We were sitting there having a beer. My dad was smoking his pipe. The sun was going down. It was one of them big, bright red, fiery sunsets. And I had a broke off top of a tree. It was all snaggled back there. And a cardinal landed right on top of that. And then the sun went down behind it. And we were just looking at that. And my dad, I remember him vividly saying, that's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was just awesome. And, it was a good memory, but we never really brought it up much. A year or two maybe later, he passed away. And I went to the funeral home, of course, the visitation, doing all that stuff. Kind of numb. And I seen a thing on the wall. It said, this is a little bit irrelevant to the story, but it said, many men have never felt they truly became a man until their father passed away. So I was like, man, I am the guy now. Ain't nobody around here. I got in my truck, was heading home. I lived up in Twin Lake. It was dark out, 9, 10 o'clock. Come around the curve just outside of Twin Lake, and there's the biggest, brightest, reddest cardinal in my headlights of my truck. You ever see cardinals at night anymore? Or anytime? I ain't never seen a cardinal in the dark. It was pretty cool. That was a good memory, of that. But me and my dad, I had the greatest childhood. And I forget that not everybody's had that. I was so lucky. Like I say, he's a World War II vet, and they were in his late 40s, almost 50 when I was born. He'd take me out here in the swamp, and he'd take, my hands get cold. I can still remember him. He had these big, strong hands, big old tan hands all the time. He said, come here. He called me Cully. It's my nickname. He said, come here, Cully, or Cucky. And he'd take my hands, and he'd blow them, warm them up for me, Just stuff like that. I had the kindest dad in the world, But he taught me all about trapping. He taught me, deer hunting, anything I wanted to know. Brook trout fishing. He was good at everything. He was my hero.